Hi, I'm Ryan. I just wanted to ask if, for voice acting, if you worked through like an agency or if you worked like freelance, and if you work freelance, like what are some of the difficulties that come with that?
So yeah, it's interesting, and this will vary on who you talk to. The old guard, people that have been around in LA for years and years, grew up in a time when you didn't have home studios. So you would go into your agency, you would do your auditions, and that's just how everything worked. And you go into studio. And I love doing that when I get a chance to do that. However, yeah, there's a lot more aspect of kind of being a freelancer in some ways, because I've got my home studio. I do audition. Now I do have agents. The interesting thing about voiceover, unlike on camera, is you can have multiple agents. So I have agents in different markets because different markets have different commercials and things. So I've got an agent in Houston. I've got an agent in Minneapolis. I've got an agent in Denver. I've got an agent in Kansas City. I've got one in New York, Chicago, and LA. And so I get auditions from all these different agents all the time. And so that's really my real work. When people say, what's the work part of what you do? It's the auditioning. And when I first got started, man, I was auditioning like crazy. I still try to, but yeah, you audition and you kind of you do the audition and you forget about it. Mm-hmm. Honestly, you have to, because you have to move on to the next thing. You can't hyper focus on it. It's hard sometimes when you get to audition for something like an IP, an intellectual property like Transformers that you love. But yeah, you have to kind of move on and do that. But I do have agents, and yeah. That's still the way it's done, but there's a lot more done home studio wise, and there's a lot more done with marketing. You know, as you guys know, social media and influencers and all that it's all new territory these last 10 years. So I'm trying to get into that more.
All right.
Thank you.